Where?
We're looking out for dads this morning and kicking things off. We're protecting your wallets with some great tips for raising financially responsible and independent children. I'm joined this morning by a local expert. This is Mark Vandeveld from Hefty Wealth Partners in Auburn. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I understand that a lot of your tips teach the value of money to children. Why is that important?
Well, I think it's really important because I did see a study recently where they tested high school students on basic money skills, and 66% of those students received an F.
Oh,
Only
wow.
3% got an A. So, as parents, it's very important for us to provide all the means necessary for our kids to be successful in life, and I think money skills is really one of the top ones.
And start them early as possible, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
How are the best ways to translate the concept of money to kids?
I think the biggest thing is to give them an allowance, a set allowance, and I think it's okay to put conditions on the allowance. That if you don't do your chores or you don't listen to mom and dad, you're not going to get your money. I think that teaches them two things. First of all, money doesn't grow on trees. It's an endless supply out there. It's not. And then the other thing is that it has to be earned. It's not just given to them. So I think that's really a good way to do it.
You said money doesn't grow on trees. I remember hearing that plenty as a kid. That's one of those sayings. One of the things my dad always said to me, too, is there's a difference between want and need, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you translate that to kids?
I think you just got to educate them along the way. As they bring things up that they want, you got to point that out, that that's not really a need. That's something you want, you need to save for. Because let's be honest, as kids, the things that they want typically aren't needs. They are just wants. So we just got to help them understand that.
So, okay, they are going to want stuff, though.
Sure.
So what are the best ways to teach them how to save?
You want to emphasize budgeting. So when we talk about budgeting, what we mean is give them an allowance like we talked about, but rather than, let's say they have a $5 a week allowance. Instead of giving them a $5 bill, why not give them 5 $1 bills? So they can take those dollar bills and they can say, okay, I'm going to save these 2, I'm going to spend these 3. Make it easier for them to do that budgeting and saving.
And I'm sure this isn't something we want to throw at them all at once. As they get older, how should you start and how should you add concepts along the way?
As soon as they're able to handle their own money, you should give them an allowance. And maybe it's something small and it grows, but then as they get older, you want to phase in more complicated concepts such as credit cards, loans, balancing a checkbook, taxes, some things that obviously they're going to encounter later in life, that the sooner you introduce them, the easier it will be for them to take that on.
Absolutely. A lot of great tips here. So in general, what do you think are the most important things parents should remember when teaching their kids financial responsibility?
Well, I think first and foremost, as parents, we need to lead by example.
Sure.
It's extremely important. We can tell them everything we want to, but they're more likely going to learn more from what they see. So as parents, we need to be financially responsible ourselves.
I think that's great advice, Mark. Thanks so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks,